Okay, so I actually came on this podcast to set the record straight on this.
Oh, hello, darling. Are you hitting pan?
Welcome back to Hitting Pan by IPSY. I'm Bethany Blair. I'm your host. Today's guest is one of my favorite people in the beauty industry. You have no idea. We are so lucky because we have one of the best celebrity makeup artists and content creators in the game here, Ash K. Holm.
Oh my God, thanks, Bethany.
Yes.
I love you.
Yes.
Like, I love this woman so much, you guys. I literally have no idea.
No, I love you. I was just telling her before this, I feel like Ash K. Holm comes up in every conversation I'm having with like a makeup artist or a hair person. You have one of the best reputations in the industry. I am not kidding you.
Thank you. You're literally going to make me blush. You have no idea. Thank you so much. Honestly, that means the world to me anytime I hear that.
Everyone who's listening who knows you is thinking that because I've just never heard of someone so universally talked about so positively. And it's like your talent, but you're also who you are.
It literally like gives me chills because I was telling you earlier, I've always just wanted to just leave a good impression on everyone, leave like a positive impact wherever I go. So it always makes me really happy just to hear that feedback through the grapevine.
Yeah, I am one of those people. We started working together. It was almost 4 years ago with Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah,
we've had a couple different campaigns with her, and Khloe and her team and all the different people who work with her are so amazing. So that's how I met Ash, but we've worked with her in so many different capacities. So I knew when I needed someone on the podcast, I was like, Ash has to come. So thank you for coming because
of course.
I know you're busy and you got a busy life.
But I got to show up and represent for IPSY. Yes. I mean, I love my IPSY fam so much, and I'm just so happy to be in this role, in this position, second time around as IPSY's chief celebrity makeup artist.
Yeah, so we're like, who else would we find? Nobody. We need to go back to Ash.
I have no idea. So it means so much to be here. I'm really excited to get into it.
Yeah, no, we talk all things beauty. You create so much content, obviously. So I know, like, aside from being just a pro makeup artist, you are a beauty lover, a content creator. So we'll talk all things. I like to start off by kind of doing a, like, how did you get here moment?
Okay, love.
Right? So when you're here, you're like at this level of success that everybody sees and everybody knows. I always like to see the journey to get there and talk about it a little bit. I have to say, I forgot that you were a Texan.
That's right.
I'm a Texan as well. I'm from San Antonio.
Oh, that's why I love you so much.
Did you go to school in San Antonio?
I actually grew up in Houston, Texas, but then I lived in San Antonio for 2 years of my life. I went to cosmetology school there, funny enough.
Wow.
And I think that's also another reason why I love you so much.
We're
both from the South.
That's what I thought. I was like, and listen, Texas is a big place, but Texans are so nice. And so when I was like, oh my God, I think I do remember that she's a Texan. And I had forgotten, but it makes so much sense now. I'm like,
it makes so much sense.
Yes, that's where we're drawn together.
For me, and I know for so many of us, like the journey is the most important part. It's the most exciting part.
Yes.
I think when you keep getting to these like different destinations in your career and hitting these like amazing milestones and getting to these goals, it's really exciting and you get to check that off of your box, your vision board. Mm-hmm. But the best part is the ride, the journey, the people that you meet along the way. So would love to get into it. I grew up in, Houston, Texas. I actually grew up on the outside of Houston in Clear Lake. And I always knew early on that I wanted to get into makeup, but had no idea how, because at the time there wasn't YouTube. This was way before that. And there wasn't Instagram. There wasn't social media like that. And I had to really figure out, like, how am I going to do this? I have no relationships. I have no connections. I was in high school knowing that I wanted this to be my career. I didn't know on what capacity or how far I would go, but knew I had to land an opportunity in the beauty world.
Yeah.
I begged my parents to let me go to cosmetology school. I ended up graduating high school early because I just knew I wanted to get to cosmetology school so bad. Didn't work out the way that I planned. They actually told me, you got to go to college first. So I did go to college.
Like, okay, fine.
You know what? I'll reason. So, and listen, I think school is incredible. And if you have the opportunity to go, absolutely. I'm glad that I went and I got a taste for it, but I knew when I was there that I wanted to be doing something else.
Yeah, reinforced what you actually wanted to do.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, I ended up begging them to let me go to cosmetology school. And at the time, there really wasn't any other cosmetology schools other than like the Paul Mitchell School, which is for hair mainly.
Oh, I know where that is.
You know what? Yeah.
I feel like I literally can see it, like where it is. Because I grew up in San Antonio, so I remember a lot of people went there.
It was an incredible school.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends was like, I'm going to go to the San Antonio location. It's new. It just opened. Let's go. So this was kind of my real college experience that I felt like I had was cosmetology school. I did the night program. And while I was there, I was absolutely just obsessed with any chance we got to do makeup. And I could count the times we got to do makeup because it wasn't that many.
It's all hair
It's
stuff,
all
right?
hair.
Yeah.
It's literally all hair. So any chance we got, I mean, I was like all eyes, all ears, just like obsessed. And while I was going to school there, I actually applied for a job at Mac multiple times. And I wanted to freelance on the side. I was thinking I could work at Mac in the morning and then go to night school at night because I wanted to sleep in. I was 18, you know, I was really young. I applied for Mac several times and I didn't get it, but that didn't discourage me. It didn't get me down. I was like, I'm going to keep rolling up with this beautiful makeup that I thought I had at the time and hope that they would recognize and just see me as, you know, someone that really wanted this opportunity and was going to do anything to get it. And that was the coolest job at the time. That was like the
job to work at Mac.
Makeup store. I mean,
no, it was like
the end all be all.
Because you're right. There was no social media.
No.
There was no, like, that was the way that you worked in beauty, and it was Mac. And they were like the highest educators.
Right.
And they went through really strict training. I remember that vibe. Like, everybody wanted to, if you loved makeup, you had to work at Mac.
So I knew that that's where I needed to go to just advance in the makeup world. And so eventually they hired me at I think it was like a Macy's counter.
Okay.
And so I freelanced there and I was just obsessed. And I remember getting the gratis. And if you don't know what gratis is, that's what, you know, they give you for the new collections that come out. They give you like a little, maybe like 2 or 3 pieces from each collection because they want you to be educated on the product knowledge and the ingredients. So I was just like fully all in and knew that like this is where I wanted to be. And I was just absorbing all the information every day, trying to learn from, you know, the other employees and the people around me. And eventually, you know, I graduated cosmetology school. I moved back to Houston and I moved back home for a little bit to figure it out. I went into the Mac at the Galleria, which is like biggest Mac store. It's a huge freestanding store. Working there, it's so busy and you see everyone from all walks of life coming in, all ethnicities, all skin tones, all races. Houston is a melting pot for culture and just like different ethnicities. So working there, I ended up getting a job at that location and I really worked my way up. They hired me on as a part-time employee. And then I just kept working my way up. And
of course you did, because I know you. Yeah, you were like, I'm about to own this company. Yeah.
Absolutely. I was like, I want this so bad. And I think for me, I never wanted to go the management direction. I always wanted to go more artistry, but sales is a really big part of working there. And I think while I was there, I didn't know at the time, but some of the things that I would learn there, I think I would keep with me forever. And that those things would help me, you know, throughout my career and do to this day when it comes to, you know, being in front of the camera and talking about products and product knowledge and ingredients and being able to like break down like the key features and the benefits. Like, I feel like I was always absorbing that knowledge there. I was, you know, like a product specialist, like any little title that you could get at Mac, like I wanted it and I would go for it. So eventually I was like, I have to be the resident trainer. And the resident trainer is the person that teaches everyone in that region. So it could be for Dallas, for San Antonio, for Houston. You oversee all of those like states and cities, and you're the person at the forefront of the trends. And you're taking those runway trends and you're bringing them to, you know, everyday life. And you're teaching like the customers and also the employees how to wear these trends and talking about product knowledge and kind of just like bringing all of that in. So you're teaching the artistry every 6 months for like, you know, all the trainings, but then you're also teaching, you know, how to sell these products and bring it into the store. Because at the end of the day, it's a business and they want to make money and you have to hit your quota, but you also have to be an amazing artist as well. So I was fascinated, I think, by all of that. And I studied really hard to get this trainer position. I'm talking like 3 years. I was like the trainer's protege and I would facilitate all of the trainings and he would give me, it was called an update Mac training book. And so he would give me the book. It's like this thick. And he would say, okay, I want you to memorize this entire book. And then you're going to take over my job for the day. And I'm just going to sit over in the corner and oversee, and you're going to take over. You want this position, right? This is what it takes. You have to public speak and, you know, conduct a room. And so not only would I do this for all of the update trainings, which would be a room full of like 30, 40 people, I would do this on Sunday morning meetings where I would facilitate I ended up facilitating meetings for all the employees, which there would be, you know, maybe 100 employees in a room. And I would get up and do a mini masterclass and talk about the new, you know, points that we needed to hit for the month and, you know, artistry and things like that. So it really set me up for success, I think, to put that work in. But I did the work and I taught myself how to do those things. No one ever, I think, is going to hand you anything.
That is a lot for someone.
It was a lot
at that age and in that point of their career, that I can see exactly what you said, how that formed the foundation of who you are today and the work ethic that you have now.
Thank you. It really did, because I never thought I would public speak outside of Mac. I always thought I want to learn how to do this to facilitate these trainings to like hundreds of Mac artists and do this specific role. And when it came time to actually, interview for this role, I didn't get it. And I was so defeated and so crushed. And I remember it was like a 2-part interview. And I mean, it was heavy. It was deep. I think people, that's how it felt at the time. Yeah. I think, for this opportunity, people would travel all over the US to get this job. It was it felt cutthroat in the Mac world. And I didn't really have any other backups, and I didn't have any other plans to do anything else. But I didn't get it. And I think I just thought for a couple days, and my boyfriend at the time, we're married now, but my boyfriend at the time was like, you should just quit. And I had just met him, actually. Like, we had just started dating, our
It was a new relationship.
It was a new relationship, but he really saw me. And I think for the first time, it was like, oh my God, I finally found someone that like really takes my career seriously. And they're not just like, you do makeup, that's cute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What are you doing after this? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, no. This person does makeup, and this person is an artist. Yeah. And this person is going to go far. And that's how he saw me. And he was like, just quit. And I was like, what? No, I like, what do you mean? And he was like, I think you should just quit, because you are really a big fish in a small pond. And, I grew up in Houston. I was in my early 20s, and I was the most requested makeup artist at that store, and I would help 50 people a day. I mean, it shows you on your receipt when you like clock out for the end of the day. Yeah. Like, that's a lot of people.
Like, how many people you checked out, how many people,
and you're multitasking, you're doing makeup, you're doing this, like you're doing that, like you're running all over the store. And, people would call for me all the time for freelance opportunities. So I was taking these freelance jobs before I would come in, and I was working 40 hours a week. Yeah. So I don't even know how I took those jobs. I would ask to come in like at 11 or 12 p.m. so I could take a bride and do a couple bridesmaids, whatever it took.
But that's like a 14-hour day at the end of the day then. You're 100%. Doing long days. Yeah.
Oh my God, I would do anything just to hustle and get to my goals. So I ended up, gaining this like clientele base, I guess, in Houston. And this was Instagram had just popped off at the end of like my Mac career. And I started to post a lot, and I was really consistent in my posting. And people started to find me through like hashtags and stuff like that. I had worked with Lily Galici in Houston. She found me, and she was like the first celebrity I ever worked with.
And she was a glam girl too.
She was a glam girl.
And she still is.
She still is. Yeah. She's like, I call her mother. She's a fairy glam mother. That's what Lily Galici is to me, and to many of us.
Yes.
And she found me through like word of mouth. She's also from Houston. So she came in town. She was on Shaws of Sunset at the time, and was like, I'm looking for a makeup artist to work with in my hometown. Worked with me. She posted me. I don't think these numbers define us in any way, shape, or form. But like at the time, this was a new app, and you had a following. Yeah. And if you could like grow a little bit on there, it was like, what is this like interesting platform?
What could it do for me?
Exactly. What is this? It was all a new beginning. And I had about 7,000 followers that I had built for myself without posting any celebrities or anything. I was posting terrible filtered photos and pick stitch collages because that's all that the app had to offer us at the time.
All those like 8 different ones. It's like, and it totally changed the makeup probably, but yeah.
Totally. Like I look back, I'm like, what was I even posting? But I was posting my work, and I was posting myself mainly, and I'd go in like the private makeup room, application room at Mac, and I'd post my makeup and whatnot. And anyways, I remember Lily tagging me and posting me, and this was when like you could grow kind of quickly, and I had hit like 10K. My boyfriend was like, what is going on? This is so wild. Yeah. And I just thought to myself, okay, this is a powerful app, and I can reach people by my art. And all I want to do is inspire people. And like, what a great way to connect and find more opportunities. And I really saw that early on. And this was literally the first year that the app was available. Okay. So it clicked. I'm still working at Mac at the time. And I had worked with Lily Galici right before I found out that I didn't get that job opportunity. Yeah. And my boyfriend's telling me, you're meant for so much more. Why don't you start your freelance career and just take it on full time? Because I had been a freelancer for so many years, but also working full-time at Mac.
You're like mixing it in, which is a grind. Totally. It's a big grind.
And I had facilitated all these master classes at Mac, and I wanted to do more of that as a trainer. But I thought to myself, why do I want to be a trainer? I love education. And that was like really where my heart was. I love, being a makeup artist, and I love doing makeup on other people and really just sharing my art and making people feel beautiful. But I also love to teach. Yeah. And I thought, why don't I just do that for myself? Like, I don't need to stay at Mac and to continue to fight for a position where they're not seeing me, you know, and maybe it just wasn't my time, you know, and I respect that, but it's my time elsewhere and I'm going to go. And I think the only way to grow is to go. And when one door closes, another door opens. And sometimes when you have no plan at all, and it's like the universe is just saying like, hey, I'm shutting this down and you don't know why right now, but you're going to know why later. And it literally gives me chills to this day because I remember quitting my job. It's over. I'm done. I'm going to post now every day on social media. Okay. I'm starting to find, I found Crispy. I found Desi Perkins. I found Patrick Starr. I found Manny. I'm finding like all these like really influential makeup artists that I think most of them came from MAC, you know, and at the time, some of them were still working at MAC. Like I Love Sarahi, like Karen, you know, these were MAC people that I looked up to. And I just felt like, okay, I can do this for myself. So I ended up working on my kit right away. I was like, okay, I've got to kind of change up my kit and just make it look even better because I'm going to take this really seriously. Right when I quit my job, I ended up working every single day after that. And I was just so shook, I think, by that because it's a lot of the unknown when you quit your job and you just, for anyone, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And being a freelancer is a huge risk for any of us that are freelance makeup artists or with whatever you do because you don't have a 9 to 5, you don't have, you know, that steady income coming in, you know, you really don't know.
Even when you get super successful, it's still scary.
Totally.
Like even when you're like, just it's freelance life is not for the faint of heart, to be honest with you. Even when you're working a lot.
We're spontaneous.
Yeah, you never know. We
just pick up our bags and go. We're like, okay, here we go. I thought I was sitting down yesterday, but now I'm not. So
you're ready. You have to be ready. And it's just like you're just
And I think that's what I love about it. I think I love the spontaneous part of the industry. I think I must love that. And so while I was living in Houston, I realized, okay, I've got to get out of here. I feel like I hit a plateau really quickly. And I was working with all the prom girls. I was doing all the weddings. I really put my time in for several years and I wanted more. And working with Lily really made me realize I love this feeling of working with influential women that are so aspirational and I can inspire people through my art. I want more of this. And I think I need to move to do it. From when I quit MAC to before I moved to LA, it was 6 months.
Okay. You quit and then you made it happen.
And I made it happen.
Yeah. You were like, I'm going for it.
This is my new life. You know, is what I want.
I think people need to hear because I do think you, like with all things big in life, people, you can really build up a decision to be like, am I ready? You know, what's going to happen? Can I afford it? Blah, blah, blah. And I think when I moved to LA, I probably moved to LA around, I was early 20s as well. And I kind of did something similar where I was just like, I think I'm going to move to LA. And then I moved 3 weeks later. Like, and so to me, like, it's like, you're just making the jump. You're just committing to it.
And you know what that feels like. You know how like scary that is. And I know you can relate in so many ways when I say that. And so when I was living in Houston after Lily, Carmen Electra found me through like word of mouth. And I always loved her from the 90s, obviously. And she heard of me through word of mouth, through Lily, actually. She saw the makeup, I think, that I did on Lily and wanted to work with me. So she had an appearance in Austin, Texas. So I drove up to Austin, did her makeup for a commercial that she was doing in Austin, and then drove back. I loved that feeling so much. And then I started to realize that more people were finding me through hashtags. The hashtag was always Houston MUA.
Houston MUA.
Houston MUA. That I remember like it was yesterday. So while I'm living in Houston, I also made a couple trips to Los Angeles. And every time I would go to LA, I would post on Instagram saying, I'm going to be in LA these dates, book me. Did that always work? No.
But still, but you're putting it out there, right?
You're putting, exactly. So you're putting it out into the universe. I love that you said that because I really believe in those things. I think like what you say out loud about yourself and how you see yourself is what the world sees. So you always have to gas yourself up, even when it's hard, you know, even when you don't want to and you're feeling down about yourself. Listen, we all still struggle. I'm not saying I'm good at that 100% of the time, but I, you know, like to talk about myself nicely because everyone deserves to have these things in life. Why not? And I started to sit there and say, why not me? You know, just because I don't live in LA doesn't mean that I don't deserve to have, you know, A-list celebrities one day, you know, sitting in my chair. Why not me? And I think that's the mentality you have to have moving to a big city like Los Angeles. So I would, you know, make those posts and, you know, reach out to people that I wanted to work with. And I think any chance that I got, I was sliding into people's DMs, emailing them. I started off working with a lot of like YouTubers in the industry, working with Instagram models. I would just work with anyone that I could get my hands on. And then another part of the growing process was reaching out to other creatives that were on my caliber that wanted to create. You know, Jesus Guerrero, like one of my best friends, that's Kylie Jenner's hairstylist. We both grew up in Houston, and we have spent many late nights staying up. And I want to say glamming each other, but kind of, He would glam me. He would do my hair. I would do my makeup. We would have our photographer friend come over and take photos. And then we would find like friends and models, quote unquote, because I mean, we didn't, you know, have those models that we wanted to have yet, but it doesn't really matter. I think it's about just like getting creative, working with people to get your work out there, letting people see you. And when you all post it on social media, you're creating this synergy. Everyone's posting and tagging each other. You're creating this community and staying consistent and posting and disciplined. And that really helped my, I guess, social media career by letting people find me through social media by posting all the time.
Social media is different now, obviously.
Definitely.
But I think it makes a lot of sense that you were using it then because you use it so well now. Like, to be a makeup artist and a content creator is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
So I think the fact that you used it back then, you're still using it now is very relevant to how you got there. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think one thing that's really important about this career is being able to evolve and adapt. Adaptability, adapting with social media, adapting with all the changes, adapting with your clients. How can you continue to grow as a person and with them? Do you want this to just be a one-time relationship with that client, or do you want this to be a long-term relationship? How are you going to grow? And that's called throwing away your ego and just, you know, I mean, like getting into it and realizing that like, okay, I'm going to do what it takes to get to where I need to be. And I'm going to do it in a classy way. I mean, I feel like I'm all about creating these relationships that are meaningful, that are long lasting. And I do that by, I think, holding myself to a really high level of professionalism. And I really care about that. And I think being consistent, being disciplined, your reputation, having a lot of grit, those are the things that take you all the way to the top and help you to really reach success.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you cannot hear the discipline that this woman has, and even just telling her story from the beginning, from the way that you wanted that MAC position, the way that you trained, how serious you took it.
It's a little crazy.
But still, it's like, to me, it's discipline. Like, it's you saying like, I'm willing to put in the work to get what I want. I want it so bad that I will do whatever it takes to get there. To me, I think that's like really great advice, not just for makeup artists, but like anyone in the industry or whatever industry you're in, because that's why I always like to hear this story, because again, people want the success, but I think it's really important to hear how they got it, because it's not social media. Yes, we see some things happening overnight, let's call it overnight, but actually there's so much work there's so much more to it, honestly. Yeah, it's just like a lot of grind, but
it's a lot of grind, girl.
Again, it's the discipline though that has always impressed me with you. And I see that now when we've worked with you at IPSY and just in your career in general, the way that you handle your partnerships, the way I started off the whole podcast. I care so much about all my relationships with IPSY, et cetera, with anyone that I work with. You know, I think I've just always just cared so much about these relationships, because I remember there was like a time when I didn't have the brand deals, I didn't have the clients, I wanted all of those things. And this is what I've always dreamed of, is like being here and getting to do what I do. So of course I want to, you know, keep these close to my heart and just constantly evolve and grow with like all of the brands that I've worked with and, you know, all of my clients. So I think it's a special thing. Yeah, it's really impressive. I started the podcast by saying what a wonderful reputation you have with everybody that I've ever talked to about you. So like, it must be nice to know the work that you've done, it's paid off because it's important to you. And it does mean a lot. That means everything, honestly. Yeah. I'll admit it, I'm not a low maintenance girl. Every time I travel, I have to lug around tons of beauty products and it's a pain. But this summer is different because I'm stocking up on Wander Beauty. They make multitasking makeup and skincare that help streamline your routine so you can do more with less. I'm so excited to take on all my summer adventures with Wander Beauty in my makeup bag. Get all your beauty essentials on wanderbeauty.com with 20% off. Just use the code IPSY20 now through July 31st, limited to one-time use. Speaking of becoming a makeup artist, and obviously you even mentioned like how you wanted to start building your kit. Kits are very heavy. And I know when it comes to being a makeup artist, we've talked about like people have to lug that kit around. Girl. And I know this, but a lot of people might not know this about you, that you had scoliosis when you were younger. Yes. And I was just curious on like the process of that, or where you are now. Yes. And if that affects you now, because girl, in more ways than one. I mean, I feel like that was a very early challenge in my childhood that I haven't really gotten to talk about. So I was 8 years old. My mom realized that
I had scoliosis, and it's not something you're born with. It's just hereditary. And it's just when the spine isn't straight, it was a little bit crooked, and it's pretty awful. I'm not even going to lie. It can be if it continues to curve, because it kind of hurts your lungs and your heart and your organs. If your spine isn't straight and it's a bit crooked, everything's in a different spot, which means like your heart can get crushed, your organs are being squished, you can't breathe because your lungs are in a place they shouldn't be because of your spine. So that was happening to me, and it was kind of happening rapidly. And my mom had the surgery, and the only people in my family that have this is my mom and her first cousin, Pat. And I'm the third lucky one. And there's really been no one else. It's not something you're born with. But when I was in 8th grade, I was getting out of the bathtub and I went to grab a towel, and my mom was like, oh my, I think she just like paused for a minute and didn't want to tell me, but she saw me bend over and my shoulder blades were definitely a bit uneven and it was noticeable. And she kept an eye on it. And it took a while to see a specialist. And then by the time I was able to see a specialist and like approved for that by insurance, it was just, we were ready to operate. Like it was really bad. I was 11 years old and I was doing makeup. I was a very young makeup artist. Yeah. Okay. I was kind of gravitating towards makeup to make me feel good. I latched on to art early on in my life, and I was always into painting and drawing. And then as I got a little bit older, I realized I love being able to play with makeup, and I love doing my mom's and anyone around me. And it just made me feel good, because at the end of the day, I was like an unhappy child going through some literal growing pains. Literal growing pains. And kids were making fun of me. I would ask to sit in the back of the class because like my shoulder was a little higher, my rib would stick out a little bit, and I would like always put my arm like this and like try to hide, because kids are so mean, and that's really detrimental as a child. Like to get made fun of and bullied so often for that. I mean, it was hard. So I think playing with makeup saved me.
It was like a coping mechanism.
It was a coping mechanism. And I knew that I would end up in this industry helping people to look and feel their best every day. It's so much more than just makeup. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's really this incredible accessory that we get to wear and take on and off. It gave me superhero powers. So I had the surgery when I was 11 years old. It was 7 days long. And I had to relearn how to walk. It was so wild. I had no idea what I was getting into. I packed a bag for the hospital, which had like products in it. I thought I was going to put my white Wet n Wild eyeshadow on. It was like 2001.
Oh yeah, I had that.
Girl, we had the white eyeliner.
Yes,
I just wore a bunch of white eyeliner all over my lid.
Yes.
I was just going to be doing my glam, and I had my gel pens in my notebook. And little did I know that I lost my eyesight after a surgery like that. You can't see anything, and you can't walk. So I had to stay in bed most of the time. Was in the hospital. So anyways, just going through this whole situation was really an experience that I wasn't really prepared for.
Yeah.
It was a 7-hour surgery. And to anyone out there that like has scoliosis, like I know what you're going through and I know how hard that is. I wanted to share this, and I would love to share it more because I know there's so many other people struggling with it out there. That's why they check you for it in high school.
Yes.
Remember?
I remember we'd go in and you bend over. Yeah.
100%.
And they look at your spine.
Yeah. And I was one of those lucky kids that had that, but that was never going to stop me, and it was never going to hold me back. And I think those things that you go through in life, they ultimately just make you stronger. And I don't know why they're happening, but maybe they're happening for a reason. Maybe it was just teaching me how to be an even stronger person that can take on, a lot of challenges and hardships in life, and, having to relearn how to walk. And like I had to walk a mile every day once I did learn for 6 months. And just, my mom had like a body cast when she got out of her surgery when she was 23. I had my surgery when I was 11 years old. And I had no body cast, but like it had, evolved so much. So I was just so glad that I got out of that situation and was like, I'm totally going to be doing makeup. Like this is what I want to do. And I also struggled with dyslexia as a child. Like they wanted to label me as being dyslexic. And my mom would always tell me like, well, Selma Hayek's dyslexic. And she would name all these like, amazing, like singers and, musicians and actors and actresses, which is really sweet. And, some of the most genius people are dyslexic. You know what I mean? So I think at the time I was like going through that in elementary school and going through this. And it was just like, okay, you're putting me in a box and you're labeling me with something. And when you label a child, you just feel so different.
Yeah.
I just felt different than everyone. And I think I had to work a bit harder than everyone in my class. and you get pulled out of class in elementary school to go to another class so you can like work on your speech and things like this. And I was like in 3rd grade when this was going on. And I think that it taught me to just be a really strong person and just to work harder than everyone else. Yeah. And I think the reason why I do work this hard is because a fire in me continues to burn because of like what I went through as a child and like all the bullying and the picking on and like getting pulled out of class and like being, it makes me emotional literally. Cause like to be labeled something for so many years, you feel different than everyone else.
During the most formative years too, which I think is like it shapes so much of who you are, obviously.
Yes, and shaping you. But you know what? They were right. I was different and I was meant for more. And so, and I know there's so many other people out there going through these things that can relate. And I think that if you are struggling and getting labeled as either one of these things, it's like you are meant for more. Yeah. You know, why not you? Like you can do anything that you want in life. And I think I proved that to myself because like why little old me from Houston, Texas, now living in Los Angeles, working with some of the most influential women in the world, getting to do what I love. I think anyone can do it. Yeah. I mean, like, why not? If
it's
you
honestly
want it bad enough.
If you think about it, it's a full circle moment because you're like, you take it back to when you were younger and you were being bullied and feeling like you were different. And then like even to not getting the Mac job, to like, these are all things like that shows that your perseverance to get through things and just like push through and not let things bog you down and not tell you that you can't do it. Because like you said, then you push through it. Look at where you are now, which
always
is like
persevere.
Yeah. Because why not me is like the perfect. You mentioned also, by the way, influential women. You recently did Ariana Grande for the Oscars.
Yes.
And I can't imagine like what a production that is, to be honest with you, because it's so much prep. The days are crazy. Yes. And I would love to know a little BTS information on like what that was like and what it was like building that look and the experience of doing that makeup for the Oscars.
That, I mean, doing the Oscars is like one of the biggest carpets of all time of the year. And anytime you get to be a part of an opportunity like that, I still pinch myself. It's so exciting. The day before the Oscars, we were actually in New York City because Ariana was going to be on SNL to perform We Can't Be Friends and to do a couple skits. So I was a part of that experience with her, doing her makeup, quick look change. We would have 5-minute look changes backstage. 5 minutes? Yes. But for some reason,
what do you even do in 5 minutes though? Honestly, I don't even know. I would be like,
girl, just honestly, it's kind of just like abracadabra. Like I don't know. I think what happens when you don't have that much time to make the changes, it's kind of fun. Yeah. I think I love being under pressure.
It's like a challenge.
It's like a fun challenge that you just kind of stop thinking and you just start doing. You almost stop breathing and you like black out and then you're like, we did it. So I think it just comes with practice, you know, being able to work on a high level like that where people are stressed, but it's also fun and exciting, you know, and like we know that like we're going to get through it and it's going to be fun and incredible. So we did this. And if you know, Saturday Night Live starts at midnight. It doesn't end till like, I mean, we were there until like 1 or 2 a.m. by the time that the jet took off to go back to LA because the Oscars was the next day. So we were on the jet. It didn't take off until 3 a.m. No. So we knew. And then we also lost an hour because of the time change. It was also like daylight savings as well, I believe. Oh my God. So I was like, great. So we were all thinking we're going to be exhausted. I also had another client before that. I had Haley Steinfeld, who I had to get to first. And then I had to get to Ariana. And we basically just slept. We tried to sleep on the plane and we went straight into glam. I took a shower. I did shower, which was nice. I went home and showered and then I grabbed my kit. I went to Haley and then I went to Ariana and then I went with her to the Oscars, which is always an incredible experience just to be there and that energy with everyone. Yeah. And the dress was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, she looked like a pink couture cloud. Yes, honey.
Pink. I'm a stunning. Pink fan. When I saw it, I was like, pink, yes, give it all of it. Ariana, you. Yes. It was amazing.
Thank you for bringing this pink into my life. Yes, seriously. And yeah, it was so much fun. I think we just wanted her true beauty to shine, I think, in that moment. And we wanted the look to be just really ethereal, just light washes of like matte tones on the eyes and on the skin, complementing the dress and adding like soft shades of like pinks and mauves on the eyes, but like a wash. Yeah. Everything we wanted it to be kind of like a wash on the eyes and a very glossy lip, just to let the dress be the moment. I think sometimes when, as a makeup artist, it can't always be this like epic makeup moment. Sometimes, you know, the makeup is like the co-star. Yeah. And the dress is the moment. Yes. And, you know. Yes. sometimes you're the supporting role or whatever. So it's like you have to kind of figure out like what element needs to shine the most. And I think that day was definitely the dress. I mean, she was beautiful. She can do no wrong.
Literally, any look you do on her, like any look that she wears is beautiful. But that is a really good call out for makeup artists too, because I do think that is like an art of finding out what look is right for what. And like you may be able to like slay a glam, like it's glam to the gods, but there also might be a moment where it's like, you know what, we're doing a different vibe, or this needs to be a little complement this. Yeah, like everything is different because, and I think like the art of building a look is so interesting to me. And as someone who works with celebrities who does have a look and they may be changing their look sometimes, or they may be going red carpet and they may be going casual. Yeah. Like when you're thinking about building looks, is it usually a collaboration? Yes. Like what is the vibe of like building these looks?
I love this question so much because honestly, I love being able to work with these creative people. Yeah. It's like, it's really about all of us working together to just create the most perfect moment and for it to be a moment. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want moments, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I'm working on a team, I will reach out to the stylist, the hairstylist. I will reach out, obviously the client is number one. We all come up with these ideas. I need to see what she's wearing first though, because based off of like what the look is, we're going to know, is the hair going to be up? Is it going to be down? Is it going to be high? Is it going to be low? Is the makeup going to be more subdued because like now the hair is going to be down? Is it going to be off the neck? So it's like, we're really thinking of every element to make this a wow moment. And then from there, most of us put together mood boards. I know I do. And I have so many mood boards in my phone. If you look through my phone, there's, you know, we have like the Oscars in the mood board that I have for that day. We have the We Can't Be Friends music video mood board for Ariana that came out this year. You know, I'll have like mood boards for Camila Cabello's cover shoots for Billboard and things that we're doing. So I think you know, being in this position at this level, you always have to be ready with looks on deck, just ready to go.
Because what if you plan all of that and then the day before they're like, you know what, we're going to change the vibe. Like say the stylist says, I think I want her in this instead. Then you got to be like,
Girl, what are you going to do then? What are you going to do then? I mean, you have to be ready. No, that's so true because it happens all the time. Actually, I'll have this whole idea planned out in my head. And then the client goes to put on the outfit and they're like, I think I'm going to wear this.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to wear this instead. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Let's roll with it. Let's roll with it.
So you just got to be ready to roll with the punches and just be quick on your toes because those decisions are being made in real time now. Yeah. And you have to do it now.
Yeah.
So time is always of the essence and we're always working under pressure and with like little time left. So it's like, what can we bang out quick that's going to be epic? And you just have to be ready for it. So having extra looks on hand, that helps you to be a professional. Yes. Definitely.
Everything that she just said, I think is really, it's like preparation.
Yes.
And taking your craft seriously.
I prep the night before. I will I'll go into my makeup room and I will start pulling, you know, different products from different categories in my room. And I'll prepare a makeup bag and bring that with me because sometimes you need a little something extra for the look. Another thing that I do, I don't know if anyone else does this. Please let me know if you do. But this just shows how weird I am. But so for the last 6 years, I've created a database of every look that I've ever created. So every single day, my assistants record and write down on their phones all the products that I use. Broken down, skin, face, eyes, lip, cheek, like every category. And then it'll say like Oscars, Ariana Grande, the date, and then it has the whole list, and then it has photos. So you can flip through this book and it's labeled like, you know, 2018, 2019, all the way to like, you know, where we are now. And I have binders of every book and they're like this big or bigger. And then I also have it on my computer as well. So I have it uploaded into my Google Drive should we need to access it and we don't have the book with us. And what this is so crazy.
No, but this is amazing. Like I want to see the book.
I will show you. I should have brought it, honestly.
Yeah, seriously.
Everyone that I've ever told this to is like, can that please be a coffee table book one day?
No, that's what I'm thinking. Like it would be the most entertaining thing to look. It's probably incredible.
I am very proud of it. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm grateful to my assistants that helped me make this possible. Yeah. Anyone that has ever worked for me, it's a part of their job description. You know, you have to do a lot as an assistant. But one of the things that they do have to do is record all the looks. So while I'm working, they're on there. I allow them to be on their phones to record these products. So anything that I pick up and touch, they're writing it down. And then sometimes they'll ask me later, what was was a lip? I didn't get to catch that. And if
Yeah.
we have multiple looks in one day, they also have to write that down as well. And it's really amazing just being able to look back at my work and to see how far I've come and to maybe get inspired off something that I did in the past, or, okay, what was this skin that I did on Kim Kardashian on this day where the makeup went viral? I want to recreate that, but I want to make it better. Okay, well, everything's here for me. And it's hard to remember what you do on all of your clients. I work with so many different people. I don't work with just the same clients every day. I love to diversify myself and work with a lot of different people. But how can I remember every, like, it's like I'm a surgeon. It's like I'm going into surgery every day and I'm like, okay, scalpel, grab this, grab that. It's like I'm grabbing all these things and I'm adding new things to my kit all the time. How am I going to remember this?
Yeah.
So this has helped me so much. If you can remember this as a makeup artist, kudos to you. Like, I'm throwing you props.
Nobody can.
I can't remember it.
That's not, you could remember some people,
and
but every person, that's like, no, that's really good. And also, what if someone comes in and you hadn't worked with them in a few months and they say, remember when we did that glam?
It happens all the time.
Yes. I love the way that my skin looked that day. And you're like, okay. And you're like, we use this. Yeah.
Literally, I'm like pulling up my database system.
No
I'm like,
stress. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Sandra and Tanya, you know what to do? I'm like, grab
Go
the book.
for it.
Yeah, totally. And we just feel so prepared, and they feel prepared because they have to set up for me.
Yeah.
So they know how to set me up for everybody. I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom also.
Yep.
I want to set up my girls. I want my team to feel safe in the space and feel prepared when they get to go off on their own. And you know, it's like we're a family. I'm gonna help you and train you and teach you the way I do it, because I hold myself to a really high standard and I feel like I get to learn from my clients too. It's a unique place to be because I really get to learn. I feel like you are like the top 5 people that you hang out with, and I tend to be with my clients all the time. Yeah. And you know, I don't take that for granted or lightly at all. And I am I'm kind of a fly on the wall. Like, I'm there, and if I can learn just one thing from each person, like, how incredible is that? Because these are such, you know, incredible women that they're not just singers, they're not just actresses. Like, there's so much more. They're entrepreneurs, they're businesswomen. I think Ariana Grande is definitely a genius. Like, I mean, there's so many, you know, special things about them that I have learned. And I hope that I do that for my assistants. And I believe that I do, you know, because I'm teaching you how to be around A-list celebrities. Yes. You're working under me. So you're going to see how to read a room. That's 90% of the job. If you want to be a celebrity makeup artist, you have to know how to read a room. You know, like that, I always say that is so important. Not only do you have to be amazing at makeup, but you have to be the whole package.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
It's like you need to be able to work well with others, be kind. You know, how are you going to like maintain these relationships? They get to watch me do that firsthand. So I think we're all like learning from each other. And I just think it's such a beautiful thing. Yeah. So I always continue to learn and grow from my clients and even my assistants too. Like we all teach each other things. Sometimes I rely on them and I'm like, I'm exhausted and we're doing all of these looks and it's the end of the day. I'm like, okay, what lip do you think would be really beautiful? Yeah. Just please pull it.
Yeah, please.
Just
you please. My
and
brain.
I trust them. Yeah. That's why they're here.
But
you know?
they spend time with you and you guys are getting to know each other. And you have really great assistants.
Thank you. I love my girls.
Yeah. And everything that you were just saying, people will often ask me, because we have our Icon Box campaigns and those are celebrity curated or icon curated is what we call it. And Chloe was one of ours. And people will often ask me like, who's your favorite? And I'm like, listen, I love everyone. Everyone's so great. But I'm like, ultimately, Chloe has always been my favorite. And that shoot that we did, and I said,
so fun.
It's because she's amazing. Her team is amazing. Like, this is a team of people who are on time. Punctual.
Early.
What time do you need me there? I mean, literally, there would be moments where Chloe would be walking back to what time do you need me to be out? Yes. We'd say 20 minutes, I'll be there. And she was there.
It was like, is like none other.
And the whole team is like that. And I was so impressed walking away. And it was a really big shoot on location. And it was just like an amazing, flawless day, from the glam to the wardrobe to all of her people and herself as well. And so I always say, like, if I could pick like truly like a perfect shoot and just with all around everybody, it was that. So it makes sense that you're a part of a team like that, because you reflect on them and they reflect on you. And it just so you know, it was like, I always reference that as like my favorite shoot for that reason.
That is, wow. That's honestly incredible, because you guys have done a lot of shoots.
No, we have. And
you worked with everybody.
Everybody's amazing, but it's like, you guys are a really really good tight ship over there. Like it
I'm
was
not gonna
just
lie.
one of those days.
You
that I
come
was
from Kris Jenner.
no,
I mean,
no, seriously,
yeah.
amazing partner, amazing person, but same thing with her whole team. So I have to say, I always use
I
that as
love
my
that so
example of
much.
like the perfect heart wrapped up. So everything
I
that you
love my
guys do,
girls.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
When you're working with your clients, like, do you feel like there's like a signature glam you have crafted, or are you now in your career looking at each face differently and going, you know what, I'm going to shape my vibe to the person?
It's interesting because I do feel like I have a style.
Okay.
I'm sure you look at my page and you think, okay, there's definitely, I see a style going on here, but I do like to switch it up on people a lot. You know, I really customize it to the client and base it off of what are we doing today? What makes sense? What is she wearing? And I try to, you know, bring something fresh all the time and play with like different, you know, liner shapes and the way I'm going to angle it. Is it going to be straighter or more lifted and upward? So I'm always like thinking of like different little tweaks that we can make to still keep you feeling like yourself, because let's be honest, everyone has an image at this point. I work with, you know, women that they've been doing this. They have an image. And it's up to me.
And sometimes they want to change it too.
And they want to change it. They want to keep it fresh, but they still want to feel good and they want to feel like themselves. Everyone at the end of the day wants to feel sexy and beautiful. Let's just be honest.
I feel like the Ariana Grande We Can't Be Friends music video was like, the makeup was a really big focus. It was like really
fun.
Interesting and really different for her and probably different for you.
That was a cool moment.
Yeah,
that was a lot of storytelling.
Okay, I was gonna say the moment, like the build up behind creating that look must have been like a lot of thought. Put into it.
Anytime I get to create with like a musician, it's so different. It's a very different experience because you're doing this storytelling and you are kind of like creating a character almost, and you really get to show your art through the story. And it's a lot of collab, I think, between like me and Ariana or anyone that I'm working with on such a big project that's so meaningful to them. And just to be like a small part of this project is like, I mean, I never take that for granted. Like pinch myself every time. And whenever we were doing this, she was explaining the treatment to me, and the song is called We Can't Be Friends, and it's based off of this movie that Jim Carrey was in called Eternal Sunshine, which love Jim Carrey.
I love that movie. It's
obsessed. And it's, you know, it's such an interesting movie, you know, and I think it's one of Ariana's favorite, and she's a huge Jim Carrey fan. And she wanted the character that she was playing to be like, just like a very like artsy 70s kind of vibe. And you kind of feel the essence of that when watching the music video. It's very cinematic. It's done so well. We were collaborating on this, and I knew that I wanted her to have this 70s element. We were thinking like weird 70s flower girl kind of look. What does that mean to me? So I started referencing all these Twiggy looks, you know, from the 60s and from the 70s, and we wanted to keep it more 70s. So I thought, okay, let's do this like irregular flower, because she wanted it to be kind of weird. So the irregular flower, I was feeling that, you know, and I basically pitched this idea to her. She loved it. She was like, okay, but when you do it, make it look like I did it. I don't want it to be like so perfect. I want it to be like really artsy and weird, as if like I did it, and I want people to recreate it. Like, let's do something viral. Let's make everybody feel like they want to recreate this look. And that's what happened. It was so special to be a part of that, to do like that white irregular flower eye for We Can't Be Friends. So I think
it was amazing.
Thank you. I love being able to do different things that will like kind of surprise people sometimes, because it's like out of the normal. But I think as a makeup artist, you have to show range, and it's fun to do these beauty looks all the time. But you also have to get out of your comfort zone and paint sometimes, and just do something a little more detailed and editorial. So I think when the time calls, I'll do something more editorial, or I'll do something more glam, or, you know, maybe it's like more of a minimalism look. I think it's just about like just living in the moment and doing what you want to do. And put your signature touch on everybody, but like make it fresh.
Yeah, not be afraid to break out of the box a little bit. When I saw the music video, I watched it like right when it came out, I remember. And I was watching it and I was like, I really hope this is Ash. I really hope, because I know you work with her, obviously. I instantly noticed the glam. I instantly noticed the look. It was so interesting and so different. And I remember being like waiting. And then when you posted, I was like, okay, yes, it's her. It's so cool.
I love those moments when something like that drops. It's just like the most exciting thing to be a part of a project like that. I don't take it for granted. I still drive to work on my way and I'm like, I'm like, I can't believe this is my life. Like,
me too. I feel like anytime you achieve something that you're like, you wanted for a long time, and when you're even in the moment, it never gets normal. Like it's always exciting. It's always like pitch
it's
yourself.
always exciting. And don't get me wrong, I know you can relate. Like we've talked about this. Like we're just going through the motions all the time, and we're just like in it. And sometimes you don't have a chance to like sit down and congratulate and reward yourself. But like we still have those moments of I can relate to that, and I can also relate to I will be driving to work and it's literally just giggling, and I'm like, ooh, this is like I can't believe this is like what's happening. You know?
No, I totally agree. I have to say too, because I know Ash won't say it because she's humble. But one thing that I'm like really taking away from this entire conversation is how seriously you take your craft. And I think like from the early stories of you to now, like we hear about making mood boards. We hear about like spending time looking at trends, thinking about how you want to build, like pitching things to clients. Like these are things that I think separate someone like at the early stages where they just like makeup and they want to be a makeup artist to being like, this is
an
where
obsession.
You are now. It is. And it's like you take it very seriously. But remember when you said that your boyfriend, your husband now said like took your art seriously, whereas instead of just being like,
that's cute.
Oh, you do makeup, you work at the Mac store, whatever. And it's like, no, you chose to elevate it by doing these things and by like developing yourself and taking it super seriously and being like, no, this is art. This is my art. And I'm going to like go gung ho with everything that I do.
Literally.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what sets, I think, people at this level apart is willing to go the next level.
That extra mile, extra mile.
Yeah.
Like give it 110% every time. And people notice that. Like your clients will see that. And before you know it, you're there, in time, once you gain the trust and respect, you will be their number one. You know what I mean? It's like these things that you, like the work that we put in, it pays off. Yeah. I do think it all pays off. And I feel like I'm a testament to that. So I've just always, had that work ethic and admire all my clients that actually have that and more. So, I'm always just like, wow, look at them. They're doing a million things in a day. I'm not going to complain, about any of this. Like, I'm so grateful to have achieved these moments in my life.
Yeah. It's so much more than makeup is. I think like my takeaway is like,
girl, we're working around the clock.
Yeah. You're a businesswoman. You're like you're treating yourself. Yeah, this is your business. This is your livelihood. This is your name, your reputation. Yes. And so everything that you do feels like it's like at 100%. I have been dying to ask you this. It's like the most important question. Ash K. Holm, are you willing to tell me what the K stands for?
Okay, so I actually came on this podcast to set the record straight on this. Just kidding. Okay, yeah. The K stands for my middle initial, which is actually Kristen. So riveting, I know. And whenever I was creating my Instagram handle, my username, I knew that I wanted it to be something that would be timeless, that I wouldn't have to change. I didn't want to change it ever. So I thought, let me do something that I can use now and I'll use forever. And I didn't want to use Ashley, which is my birth name. I just think, all of us Ashleys, we can relate. It's like we're in a world of Ashleys just trying to stand out. Am I right or am I right?
You're right. Yeah, I get it.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to use Ash because that's my favorite way for someone to say my name. My family has always called me. My friends have always, said Ash, and I've always loved that. And I've resonated more with that than being an Ashley personally. So I've always gone by Ash. When I was creating it, I was like, okay, I'll do Ash and then I'll spice it up and I'll put a K in there and it'll be Ash K Holm. And that's that.
There you go.
I know it's not as as exciting as I want it to be, but we're here.
There's still mystery, and the listeners got the inside scoop. Exactly. So nobody else has to know. Exactly. Oh my God.
Isn't that funny?
I love it. I literally was like, I never have asked her this, but I'm just curious because I remember like when I think of you, I just think Ash K Holm. Ash K Holm. Like I say like.
And thank you for saying it right. I think so many people say Ash Holm, but hey, if you want to come correct, it's Ash K Holm. I don't correct people anymore. I think it's kind of funny because I get it. You're reading it how it looks. So that's my fault, I guess. But
I've corrected people before. Like when we first started working with you, someone said like Ash Coleman. I was like, I need you to get it right.
I think it's kind of funny. I've literally had clients tell me, I've known you for like 10 years and I always thought it was Ash Holm. And like, I think it's funny when they say it. So sometimes like you're just kind of like, and you just forget. Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's funny.
No, at you in my head, I say Ash when I'm with you, but I say Ash K Holm when I'm talking about you.
Thank you for correcting people and having my back.
Girl, I will always have your back. So we end every episode with a segment called Undupable, where basically you're naming like 5 undupable things in your life, in your beauty life, whatever it is. But I want to change it up a little bit for you because I feel like you have such hot tips that I want you to do undupable like makeup artist kit version. For anyone here is listening,
spicy.
who wants to like take some kit tips from you, but you have 30 seconds to do it, but I might give you like some more time because if you give me a good tip, like I need to know. Okay. So we're going to do 5 undupable kit items from Ash K. Holm. Start the timer.
My lip flip technique, which I love to do with like, honestly, any lip liner that looks like the inside of your lip. So, oh my God, I love the Victoria Beckham lip liners. That's a hard one. Okay. And then the glow lighting technique, which I love to do with any of my go-to moisturizers that I'm using on my client. So I'll add like the moisturizer at the very end with a beauty blender. And it kind of gives you that Hailey Bieber glazed skin look, but it's hydrating. It locks in the moisture and the hydration. So it can be with honestly, whatever moisturizer that works for you.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. I need more time.
I'm giving you time. This is extra credit because I'm already in and I want to know the rest of them. Okay.
I'm
even just the Hailey Bieber glaze look with I'm like, yes, I'm doing that right now.
We're getting hot in here.
Okay. So 3.
Okay. And then my Inglot 77 gel liner because, I want to use other things, but it's hard because it's the blackest black as it gets.
And it's so smooth.
And it's so smooth and I can just do any look with that. Also my Tom Ford eye defining pen liner as well. I'm obsessed with that one. If you just want a pen liner, you don't want a gel pot. Okay. You see, I've been using this one for years. She's a liner girly.
You are a liner girly.
It's dual ended. So if you need a short tip or you need a long tip, it's a brush on both sides, which we love a brush.
Okay. And I've seen her do liner in person. It is an art. It is whatever liner tips you're giving me, I'm taking. Yes.
Thank you. I love my liner. I love my liner people that respect liner. Okay. So funny. So funny. So it's always in style to me. I feel like it'll always be on trend.
Liner
for me.
is always amazing. Right? Bring it always in.
Every season. Okay.
Now
wait,
I have
last
2
one.
new eyeliners that I need to bring back or buy. So this is your last one. This is your 5th one.
Last one, my lighting. My lighting is undupable. Honey, I carry so many lights in my car. We have our handheld lights. We have our spotlights. I also have my makeup lights that are flat panels. So it just like depends on the mood, depends on the season. Does it have batteries? Does it have a cord? I don't know. What if I'm in a situation where I need a light and there's no place to plug it in because I'm in the wilderness. I'm in the woods. I'm shooting a music video.
Come prepared. You have to come prepared.
Yeah, you gotta come prepared, come correct, have all the things in the bag. I am Mary Poppins.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, but I feel like whenever I've gotten my makeup done, if a makeup artist pulls out the perfect lighting or it's already lit the perfect way and I get to take I feel like your clients also appreciate that.
They feel good. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so many times we're on set, Khloe Kardashian's like, Ash, where's the lighting? Because we'll be filming something with a different company and they have lighting and it's lit, but it's not like the IPSY studio lighting, okay? Like the IPSY Ash K. Holm lighting.
Yes, yeah. Oh my gosh.
I take notes from you guys, honestly. The best studio ever. So, I mean, yeah, my clients do trust me to have like the equipment and I love that too, because I think you need to show up like a boss and just show up with all the things that make you feel professional. So I always say invest in the equipment, invest in yourself, invest in your kit, because at the end of the day, it comes back full circle and it's only going to further help you feel good and set yourself up for success. Mm-hmm. And your clients will see that. And I promise you it all comes back. These things are expensive, but little by little, it's so worth it to just invest.
Details, preparation, like all the things.
Yes.
I feel like, again, you're an inspiration to so many people in the beauty industry and not just makeup artists. Like I think people just who love beauty. So, I have to do mine. I forgot. Dang it. I'm so bad at them.
Yeah,
I'm so bad at them. I prepare and then I don't know how to do it. Okay. All right. Ready? Okay. The Nude Sticks lip balm things that have like a little tint. I've been really liking them. They are really nice on my lip. They have a little mint. The Fenty Invisimatte powder. I've been using it in my bag. And Ash pulled it out at the beginning and I was like, okay, I'm in the right place. Like I'm doing the right thing. Number 3, I am going to say, wow, see, this is what I'm saying. I know we're going to do it and then I forget. Oh, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lash Sculpt Mascara. I've re-fallen in love with it. The Glow Recipe Watermelon Spray. It's the best mist. It's so good. I love it.
I love that one.
I got through 4 and my 5th one would be just getting my nails done, to be honest with you.
Girl.
My nails, it just transforms you. Like
we need.
No, I used to not be a nail person. I would just be like, whatever, I don't have time.
Right.
Make the time.
Make the time. It makes you feel good. Like you kind of feel like you pop off. I know. When you get your nails done.
And my husband loves it too. He's like, Ooh,
Oh,
those
yeah.
are nice. You look nice. And I'm like, see,
Oh my God,
make
they,
the time.
they really do. When I had shorter nails, no offense, like I do like short nails too,
Yeah.
but I was like, wait, hold on, wait.
It's not me.
He
You're
go-
like,
yeah,
this is
he
not-
goes, what is, your hand looks shorter. He's like, what are these short little hands? I was
yeah,
like,
me too. I feel like I'm like, yes. So yes, make
So, yeah,
time
we're
for the
gonna get our
nails.
nails done.
Like, yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
Amazing. All right. So Ash, thank you for being here. Again, I feel like everybody's already following her and like seeing all her iconic looks and all of her tutorials. But if we found some new followers, why don't you give us a little tag where we can find you on social?
You can find me at Ash_K_Holm on all my social handles.
Perfect. Amazing. And again, she gives the best tips, so make sure you follow her.
Oh, I love you. Thank you so
I'm
much
always
for
like,
having me.
I always am commenting. I'm like, Ashley, Ashley. Why did I call you Ashley right now?
It's okay. Everyone does that too.
Chris Jenner calls you Ashley.
Oh my God, Kris Jenner will always be like, Ashley,
She
can
does.
you hand me?
I saw she shared a makeup.
But you know what? She's like mother, and
No.
I'm always like, you can call me whatever you want, okay? Like whatever you say.
That's
and,
right.
And
She called
honestly,
you.
it
I saw a
still is my
video.
name,
Yeah,
so,
you're like, it is my
it
birth name. But
it's
yeah,
fine.
she's like, I'm here with my makeup artist, Ashley. And I'm like, Chris can call her whatever she wants. Truly, I agree.
Truly.
So Ash, I will say again, thank you for being here. You're the best. This was such a great episode. Make sure you tune in every Thursday for new episodes of Hitting Pan on YouTube, everywhere you listen to podcasts, all the things. And again, have a wonderful glam day. Ash, we're going to keep talking after
We're
this.
gonna keep talking.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna sit here and kiki.
Yeah,
But
for
I
another
love you
couple
so
hours.
much. Thank
You're
you
the
for
best.
having me. Like the best time always with my IPSY fam.
Yep.
So happy I could do this with you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
everyone.
Are you hitting